everybody, JC here from Toy News International, and I'm doing another TNI toy question of the day video. I'm going to be giving away another $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. So at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you guys a question. You guys just respond in the comment section below with your answer. It can be a 1 or 2 word answer. You should know how this works. I've done it enough times now. Before I get to that, I just wanted to talk about a couple other things. So first of all, I do have a letter from the P.O. box that I'm going to open and read. And then also just a few things this week that's happened that I wanted to talk about. So we had the new Logan Wolverine trailer, and just wanted to share some thoughts on that. And honestly, I can't say I was terribly impressed with it. I mean, it wasn't bad or anything, but first of all, I'm kind of tired of all these alternate timelines with the X-Men movies. It's getting kind of old, and it's also just kind of hard to follow what's going on and when and what. So definitely this looks like something that's in some type of, again, alternate timeline or future timeline. I don't know. Also, it just looks like, it didn't really strike me as Old Man Logan. It just looked like Hugh Jackman with a regular haircut. I don't know. I mean, I know in the comics he's definitely got short hair and everything, but you know, it really just, it seemed like Hugh Jackman with claws as opposed to Wolverine from the trailer. And then, you know, what's up with Professor Xavier? He looks like a bum or something. I haven't actually really ever read the storyline in the comic, the Old Man Logan storyline, which I guess is what this movie is going to be based on. But it just, I don't know, it just didn't strike me as all that exciting. I know we got the Reavers, looks like we got the Reavers in it, which might be kind of cool. And it might be good, you know, like I said, I'm just going by what I saw in this brief trailer. But I just wasn't terribly impressed. It wasn't like, oh man, I can't wait for this movie to come out. So that's really just my 2 cents on that. Also, we got a teaser trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel. Again, not really enough there to form an opinion. Looks very similar to the first movie, which, you know, I enjoyed. Definitely had some funny moments and everything. Looks like Groot is still a small plant type creature at this point, so he hasn't grown back to his full size. I guess they wanted to go for that cuteness with, you know, him riding on Rocket's shoulder and everything. So, you know, again, not a whole lot there. But definitely, you know, like I said, I enjoyed the first movie, so I didn't see anything in this trailer that was like, man, this looks like it's going to be bad. So I'm looking forward to seeing more for that movie. Also this week, we got our first look at Nintendo's next game console system, I guess it's called the Nintendo Switch. And it looks pretty cool. Definitely kind of on the gimmicky side with the controllers and stuff, was my first impression from the preview trailer that they put out this week. But definitely also looks like they're going for that whole mobility thing, being able to take it with you anywhere, which could be cool if it works well. You know, that definitely could be cool. I think game consoles are competing a lot with like mobile apps and stuff like that. I think that's their big competition. So I think that's what they're kind of trying to shoot for, that demographic with this thing. My thing is, you know, I'm more interested, you know, if it has good games, good graphics, that type of thing, worth, you know, justifying plopping down the money for yet another game console system. So we'll see. You know, they showed us some brief games like a new Zelda game and a new Mario game and stuff, and they look good. So, you know, like I said, there was enough there that it makes me interested to see more. You know, I don't know if I'm going to actually pick up the system or not, but definitely interested in seeing more. I've also been kind of debating on whether I want to pick up the PlayStation 4 VR system. I haven't really looked that much into it. I watched a couple reviews on YouTube, and again, it kind of strikes me as a gimmicky thing. So I don't know. I've never tried really any of these VRs, you know, with the mobile phones or the more expensive ones that you run on a high-powered PC. So, you know, do you really feel like you're submerged in the game, you know, or is it just you've got these goggles and so you can see what you would normally see on the TV screen just up close in your face? I mean, that's kind of, again, the whole gimmicky thing. When I see stuff like that, I have flashbacks to the Sega CD. I don't know how many of you ever remembered that when Sega Genesis came out with the CD, and the games just weren't any better than the cartridge games, and in fact weren't even really as good as the cartridge games as far as playability and stuff. It was just, had some cool movie, you would get the movie scenes and stuff, but the actual gameplay was pretty lacking on those. And so that's kind of, when I see stuff like this, that's my first thought is, oh, they're just trying to pull you in with a gimmick to get you to spend a bunch of money, and this thing, if you get like the controllers and stuff, I think cost in the neighborhood of, and the camera and stuff, I think cost in the neighborhood of $400. So I haven't decided if I want to plop that money down. Right now there really isn't many games that I'm interested in. There's the Arkham game, but I've heard that's not really, I mean, it's kind of cool looking, but it's really a very simplistic game that you finish in just like, a very short period of time. It costs $30, but I've heard it really probably shouldn't cost more than 15. So it really not enough, I don't think, to incentivize me to buy the VR. But there are some games. The new Star Wars Battlefront game is coming out for it, and there's a Star Trek game that looks maybe kind of interesting. So those, I might, once those come out, I might decide to go on and plop the money down and pick it up. I probably should go at least like check it out at the store and maybe try it on just to see how it is. So like I said, I really have not gotten into the whole VR thing yet, just because part of it's just because I haven't had time, to be honest. So that kind of wraps up today, or this week's kind of happenings as far as newsworthy stuff. So like I said, I do have a letter that I got in the P.O. box the other day. If you caught my toy run video, then you saw me picking up the letter at the P.O. box. And this letter once again comes from Wyatt Enos. So he this is the second time he's written. Great to hear from him. So I'm gonna open this up. Got my reading glasses on. Getting old. Eyes are starting to go. So let's see. Hi JC, thank you so much for reading my last letter to you. I'm glad your thumbnail was holding the Harley Quinn picture I made for you. I was wondering if you could do that for all my letters to you, please. So I have 3 questions for you. Who is your favorite Batman villain? So that one's kind of a tough question. I guess if we're going for, in the strictest sense, Batman Rogue Gallery villains, I'd probably have to go with the cliche answer of the Joker. Joker to me is kind of the flip side of Batman, and it's the yin and yang type thing. So I think I would have to go with that. But I also, in thinking about this question, I find it interesting when Batman goes up against characters similar to like himself. So one that came to mind, and not one you typically think of as a Batman villain, but Lex Luthor. And they've been crossing paths a bit in Justice League and stuff in recent issues. Lex Luthor joined the Justice League and stuff. I've fallen behind on my Justice League, so I haven't read the last couple months, but with the Rebirth and all that, but he had joined the Justice League, and Lex had discovered Bruce Wayne's secret and everything, and so I like that kind of thing, a fellow billionaire genius type person who really doesn't have superpowers, kind of matching intellects with Batman is the kind of villains I like to see him go up against, more so than a superpowered villain. If DC Collectibles made 3 new Batman action figures, what would they be? Arkham Knight. That's a tough one. I think they've, made most of the characters from the Arkham Knight games. I'm sure there's some obscure characters. I maybe wouldn't mind seeing an updated Penguin. That would be a good one. Or maybe, kind of like we saw Mattel do with their 4-inch multiverse line and do various skins versions of Batman. That might be a cool thing to see from DC Collectibles. But there really isn't, I couldn't say there is a standout character or, that hasn't already been made that I've been dying to see for that line. I'm definitely kind of looking forward to the upcoming Barbara Gordon in the wheelchair. I think that's an interesting figure. Which Batman figure do you look forward to? Well, so that's one, the Barbara Gordon, as I mentioned. Also, let me think. There's so many Batman figures that come out and have come out. It's hard to kind of keep track. Again, there's not like anything I could say honestly that I'm like just dying to get. But again, that Barbara Gordon one I think is interesting. The upcoming Icons Batgirl with motorcycle, that one I think is going to be an interesting figure as well. So I'm looking forward to that. That one I think comes out in December. P.S. On Amazon, Poison Ivy will be released on Amazon.com October 31st. Hopefully that could be the case. However, I don't put a lot of stock in those release dates that you see on Amazon. A lot of times those are just kind of placeholders for companies. You know, they want to basically get it up there for pre-order, and they just kind of stick a generalized release date on there. At least that's been my experience. So like I said, I still haven't heard. I actually never got around to following up with DC Collectibles to see if they had an update. I originally contacted them and they said they'd check into it, but then they never got back to me, and I was going to get back to them and just got busy with New York Comic Con and other things and forgot to follow up. There wasn't really, while DC Collectibles had a few figures at the DC Comic booth at New York Comic Con, it wasn't like there was DC Collectible representatives readily available there to ask them questions. So but I will try and find out if that figure is still coming. I want to say it seemed like it was far enough along that eventually I think they're going to re-solicit it and reissue it. But again, I'll try and find out. Can't wait for the Barbara Gordon back row. So I see you're looking forward to that one too. So that was his BS. So thanks. No artwork on this one. He indicates he'll send me some artwork in future letters. So definitely, you get me the artwork, and I'll definitely read it and feature it, and maybe even use it as a thumbnail. But anyone who wants to write a letter or ask questions or submit artwork or whatever, the P.O. Box address is in the video description below. So please, I love hearing from you guys. So feel free to drop me a letter. Okay, so I think that wraps up the current events for this week and the letter. So let's go on and get to this week's TNI toy question of the day. I should probably call this of the week, since I always give you about a week to give me your answer. But anyway, I guess we'll take a nod from Wyatt, and I'll ask you guys, what is your favorite Batman villain? So again, just leave a comment in the video description below. It can be 1 or 2 words, or you can go into detail why is your favorite character. It's up to you. 1 entry per person. And then again, you'll have until next Thursday, the end of next Thursday, which is the 27th, to get me your answer by responding in the comments section. Also, I guess I should note, you have to be a subscriber to the channel, and you have to like the video to be entered as well. So those are kind of givens, but definitely make sure you do that. I figure most of you watching this are already subscribers, but definitely make sure you like the video as well to be entered into the contest. And then I will announce the winner next Friday morning, which is the 28th, by responding to whoever I choose to win. I'll respond to their comment here. So make sure you have your notifications so that, when I respond to you, you get an email notification, or just make sure you pop on here next Friday and scan down and look for your comment and see if I've responded. Like I said, I'll do it in the morning. I don't have an exact time, but I usually do it in the morning. So if you check in the afternoon and you don't see I've responded, then you can pretty much figure that you weren't the one to win. I don't know if I mentioned it, but last week's winner was John Shiro. I'm probably butchering his last name, but he was the winner for the last TNI toy question of the day, in case you didn't see it in the comment section. So congrats to him. And also make sure you're following me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I've been doing most of the TNI toy questions lately on YouTube, but definitely, from time to time I mix it up and do it on one of those other social media platforms. So, you never know when I'm going to ask the question, or where more specifically. I usually do it. Last week we did it on a different day because of New York Comic Con, but normally I'd ask the question on Friday. But next week it could be on my Facebook page or my Twitter account or something like that. So you don't have to be entered in the contest, but if you want to make sure you're keeping up with what's going on, make sure you follow me on those social media platforms. All right, guys, until next time, I'll catch you later. Oh, one last quick thing. in my toy hunt review this week, you know, I picked up the DC Comics Multiverse 6-inch scale Batcave play set. I was going to try and get it up today, a review of it today, but it's a very big item, and it's one of those things that takes a little bit longer to get reviewed. So look on Monday, that review to go up on Monday. All right, guys, so until next time, I'll catch you later.